What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, and I'm coming with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha. Thank you so much for tuning in to another podcast episode. I appreciate all my listeners. Let's get this out of the way. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you're taking it in the podcast. I really would appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, you can, subscribe. You can hit the like button, and you can also hit that bell icon to be notified of any future content that is loaded to YouTube. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into it, man. So shout out to my wife and my daughter, my oldest daughter. And I'm saying that because my oldest daughter is soon to be 16. And for the last couple of months, we have been looking for a vehicle for her to prepare for her to be, free and to get that little, just that taste of freedom and being able to be on her own and driving on the road. So we had, again, been looking for months and couldn't find exactly what we needed. And shout out to Melissa Glenn, our friend Melissa Glenn. We had a couple of vehicles fall through that were, not up to our standard, or there was one Ford Escape that my daughter saw that she thought she was really going to like, but we never actually even really got to, check it out because it was in the shop, and it ended up not passing the safety checks. So it went to auction. They weren't actually selling it. So she was pretty she not really down, not not too disappointed, but just like a little disappointed. She was. But that kind of opened her eyes to thinking that was the kind of vehicle that she wanted. So we had been looking out for Ford Escapes. Prices are crazy right now with vehicles. Everything's super inflated. Like the cost, it's ridiculous, man. You can't. I mean, it would be a really big piece of crap probably if you didn't buy it from a private owner, uh, and you were looking for like a dependable car with low or without high miles. You're spending an arm and a leg. So it was tough. It was a struggle to find something like within the budget that we set, and it was kind of frustrating. When you think you got to spend like 10 grand on a car for a 16-year-old, it just doesn't make sense, because anything can happen. They may get in an accident. Uh, is it really going to be worth you putting that much money into a vehicle? Well, we decided to, we set it at $8,000 was our cap, and my daughter has been working over the last year. I don't know, whenever she started at out here in Papillion at Papio Fun Park. She's been working, put in hours all summer, being responsible with that. So, we had told her we'll match you half, but we're not going to let you spend too much money because that's crazy. So we finally were able to do that. And shout out to Melissa Glenn, because what happened was she was getting her hair done by my wife. We're all friends. We go back years, but she was getting her hair done, and they were talking about cars. And Melissa had asked what we were looking for. Mitzi told her. Melissa was like, "Hey, I've got this friend who owns a car dealership. She might be able to help." So right there in the salon, she pulls it up on her phone for the website. Sure enough, they happen to have a Ford Escape, 2011 Ford Escape. So my wife went to go check it out. Then, she brought my daughter and myself out to check it out, and yeah, man. I mean, it all checked out. Like it was a pretty decent car for what we were looking for. A little more miles than we wanted, but hopefully it'll be around for the long haul. And it's got these party lights on the inside that are run down by your feet, and then the cup holders. I kept pushing this button and I didn't know what it was. It's like, I've never seen this kind of button before. I don't know what it's doing. My daughter was like, push it again. So I pushed it again. And then she was like, "Oh, the colors changed." So it's got like 5 or 6 different colors that change when you push this button. So she really loved that. It's got leather interior. Um, Overall, nothing really major on the body side. Uh, Door dings here and there, a little bit, little white marks. It's a black vehicle, but nothing that was a huge turnoff. And she was excited. We took it for a test drive. Nothing was going on there. It all felt right. We actually got it back from our repair shop, Holman's out there in Bellevue. So shout out to Holman's Auto. Uh, they said nothing really major. There might be like a leak in there, but uh, nothing that they're too concerned about. So we're doing all right. So another shout out to Candace Price over at Home Team Auto Sales, over on Sorensen Parkway. We appreciated the experience so much. I did write a little review and put it out there on Facebook. I need to make sure to put it out there on Google as well. But she was great to work with. When you're getting a referral and it's like, she owns the car dealership and she knows Melissa. So knowing that relationship, we felt at ease during the whole process. And Candace was there for us. She was not pushy at all. She actually adjusted her schedule to be there to at a time that fit our schedules because all three of us work, and it was just going to be tough to get out there. It was like on a Friday, no, on a Thursday, because we couldn't go on Friday because my daughter worked after school. So it was just going to be tough to do. And Candace came through in the clutch and like helped us out and stayed late, and we were able to get it done. So super excited for that. That's one of those life hurdles that we were happy to help her over. My background for me is like my parents didn't help me ever putting any money on a car. I bought my first car on my own when I was 17 without their knowledge because I was like upset with them about money stuff. So I just went out and said, I'm gonna do it on my own. Like I'm gonna do it. And I put like $600 down and paid 200. No, I put $700 down and paid 200 a month for 6 months. My car was $1,900. So, and I bought it from a buy here, pay here place who shouldn't have sold me the car because I was only 17, but they did. And, it was cool. But so to go from that being my experience when I was getting out there on the road, I wanted to make sure that we were able to be there with my daughter. And she didn't want us to outright buy her a car anyway because she wanted to work for it and be responsible for it and have some skin in the game. So that was great in itself. Um, but yes, we said, we want to help you though. We'll match you half. Like I said, we'll match you half. And that was the deal. And happy to do it. We My wife and I talked about it and we said maybe we'll pay for the first year of insurance. We've already paid it for the year. I think we said that we maybe we'll pay for it for the year or half of it for the first year, I think, in line with what we did for the vehicle. So maybe we'll pay half of it for the year. She'll only have to pay us half back for what we paid. It wasn't too expensive. Um, Gave the VIN to my guy Ryan Burden from Farm Bureau. He's my friend and an insurance agent. So we went through him, checked it. It was only like I think 600. I think it was less than $700 more to add her to our insurance. So it wasn't too bad. We paid that all in advance. We don't like to pay those monthly bills, so when we can pay in one lump sum for the year, we do that. And I want to talk about having that financial stability to be able to do that. So my wife and I have like saved before we moved into this house that we're currently in. We saved for years. We made sure to have an emergency fund, and like we're out of debt. I've talked about it many times before. We are out of debt except for our home, and that allows us to be a little more fluid with things, and we're not really struggling. I did take a I am not used to making the little amount of money that I make at my full-time job. Uh, but even with that, we're able to make it work, and we're not really having to dip too much into savings. Uh, and I got money coming in from Small Guy and Omaha Fatty a little bit, so that stuff's up and out. But overall, man, I was just happy to be able to help my daughter and know that we were financially stable enough and secure enough to be able to do that without it being a huge thing. And I think it's a lesson to be learned for her as well. I mean, not only did she say she wanted to work for it as well, so she was able to do that, but she was able to see that we were with her on that step, and we were able to, lessen that burden on her. So I hope that that makes a lasting impression for her just going through life, and that we've been teaching her the right things about money. And I don't think that discussion has had enough, because I always hear about people talking about credit and whatnot. We just had a conversation the other day, at the dojo with one of our teammates, and she was talking about money and needing credit and all that and credit cards. And I'm like, nah, you don't need credit. You don't need credit. So what do you need credit for? Do you have a house already? Yeah. You got a car already? You don't need credit. If you can't pay for it in cash, you don't need it. So I said, I'm gonna bring you this Dave Ramsey book. And that's what helped me and my friends and my wife when I was younger. Is I fell into Dave Ramsey at a semi young age in my early 20s, and it showed me the way to uh, not live beyond my means and set up a budget, which we don't really budget nowadays, because I mean, I don't want to say we don't have to. I live pretty free right now. I spend more money than I should, and a budget probably would help, but it's not a huge concern. We're still able to maintain our savings and pay all of our bills. So, financial literacy, that is definitely a thing to discuss with your kids. Maybe you're not financially literate. Please check out somebody like Dave Ramsey, some kind of financial information where you can learn how to navigate and operate when it comes to money, because you don't have to be in debt. That's like what they sell you. You have to be in debt. You have to have credit cards. Some people like to have credit cards and pay them off monthly, whatever. That's your deal, of course. But if you're one of those people who are struggling and trying to figure out where all your money is at or where it's all going, and you don't have savings and whatnot, you know, start with a budget and see where your money is going. See where your money is going, and then go from there and see where you can cut things out. Maybe you can take lunch instead of buying food. Uh, you know, Dave Ramsey would always say, beans and rice, rice and beans. We never did that because I don't eat beans, but we did definitely cut out our eating out when we were going through these steps of getting to financial freedom. So we know what it takes, and it's not always easy. But you set a budget, you still can have fun. It's not much of a struggle. You can do it. It's able to be done. Um, we're never well, I don't think unless something pops off really big with Omaha Fatty and Small Guy, I don't think we'll ever be rich, but we will hopefully always be financially stable and secure, you know. And that's the biggest thing. And I want to teach that to my kids, because again, it's not talked about enough. We don't talk about it in schools and whatnot. Matter of fact, they try to get you to go in debt, you go to college and whatever. If you're not getting scholarships, you're probably going in debt, or your parents are paying for it, or whatever it is, but you don't have to go in debt. Um, there's ways around that. There's ways to navigate through that. Um, and that's just the biggest thing that I wanted to cover today is, yes, I'm super happy that we were able to help my daughter with her vehicle, but I'm hoping even more than that, that we provided a lesson in that they see how we live, and they know that we don't struggle, because there's a lot of people struggling right now, for different reasons. And we have been fortunate enough. I don't want to say lucky. We've been fortunate enough to not really struggle, even with me making less money. We're still gonna have to find a way, and I might have to tweak this job thing a little bit, because just mentally, I know that it's tough when you make a certain amount of money, and then you go to do something for different reasons, and money is not the main goal. But then when you're realizing how little you make, and the potential is out there for you to make more, you're like, I don't know, man. It just, just mentally, it's a challenge sometimes. So, I'm happy to be able to help people in what I do. But no job is going to be 100% right on. So I got to decide how I want to continue going forward. But still, I'm happy to be able to show all this to my kids. You have options. You have options. You don't have to be in debt. That's the biggest things to take away, man. I'm so happy for my daughter that she has a vehicle. And she'll have it for her 16th birthday. It's already here. It's in the driveway. Well, maybe not today. I think they may have taken it when they left, but it's here at the house, and it's all taken care of. She's just got to get her plates and go and take the driver's test, and she'll be, bam, money. Should be money. Should be on point. So that's all I got today, man. Financial literacy, man. Do what you need to do if you're struggling and you're like, I'm drowning. I can't get out of this hole of debt. What do I need to do? Man, send me a message. I got a couple of Dave Ramsey books to give away for free. I've had them for a while. If you need one, let me know. Shoot, I'll buy one if I don't have any more, because I'm about to give 2 away. I think I'll have 1 more, maybe 2 more to give away. So if you need some help financially, let me know, man. Send me a message, and I can get a book out to you. But yeah, that's what it is, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you have a stress-free day and just enjoy the ride of life, man. Don't stress too much, man. As we end every episode, smile, help someone else smile, laugh, and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Yeah, G.I. Joe. Peace out, y'all.